Have you ever thought you weren't inside your own body? You were in complete shock, not knowing what you were going to do next. Statistics show that children of alcoholics experience three things. Number one is fear, anxiety, and insecurity. And that was me. From the time I was 3 years old, I was abused and I was forgotten. I received a phone call when I was 13 years old and was told that my mother was diagnosed with lung cancer. My mother was a beauty queen. She was beautiful and I aspired to be just like my mommy. And I literally watched her disintegrate and die right in front of me at the age of 13. This was very difficult for a 13-year-old to not have her mommy and know she wasn't coming home. Because you see, my father was still in destruction mode in alcoholism. So from that point, he chose 2 additional stepmothers to come into my life to physically and emotionally abuse me. And he continued in his alcoholism, loving me as best as he could, the best that he knew how. When I was 18 years old, I also received a phone call. My aunt was crying and I knew something was wrong. And I called my grandmother's house and my uncle answered and said, "Your father died today. He had a heart attack." So here I was at the age of 18, having lost my mother and my father, alone and confused. On March 24th, 2011, I received a phone call, and it was from my husband, the love of my life that it took me 40 years to find. And he said to me, "Baby, I need you to come home. Something is wrong." So I gathered my things. My husband was the city manager and our fire chief worked directly for him. I called him and said, "Can you go to the house? Something's wrong with Biff." And then I proceeded to my ride home, which was the longest drive of my life. I was shaking. I knew in my heart of hearts something was really wrong. I rolled into our driveway, total chaos. I saw my husband laying on the ground in our living room and they were working on him. And I knew my husband was gone. And by the time we got to the hospital, I was told he is no longer living. This was the love of my life, and this was my rock bottom. So with all the trauma that I've experienced, I lost my mom, I lost my dad, and I lost Biff. And I internalized all of it and became physically ill. I have had 14 surgeries in my 51 years. My physical ailment started when I was 18 years old with female problems. I also had a bladder surgery. I was peeing all over myself, but the good news is I got a bladder surgery and I've never peed my pants again. I learned how to take advantage of the medical industry and help myself. And I'm in a great place because I feel good, because I learned the direct correlation between body symbology and how to heal myself. Body symbology shows when you experience health issues, if you look within first and understand what the true core cause is to all these physical issues, you can heal. So I came home to California. I could let go of all the trauma and leave it behind me and find where my true peace lied, where the palm trees are, feel the sand in my toes, drive to the mountains in 2 hours and smell the pine needles and be with all those people that have forever been my support mechanism. So I was able to let go of the trauma and find peace and joy again in California, my homeland. I started doing holy yoga and I learned to breathe. And I learned a mantra that helps me in my sleep insomnia, where I take a deep breath in and say, "I trust, I trust, I trust. I am light." And I feel that joy within me because the trauma is now gone. I'm in a much better place and I have healing within me. We all have a story and we all have a purpose and we all are here in Earth School and we all have one heart. We're all here to learn from each other. I look forward to helping others create opportunities through my workshops and speaking engagements, my retreats, and teaching holy yoga on how you too can move past our trauma and help support each other in healing and coming past the pain with joy and peace.